Today I am going to be planting my onions. Hi, my name is Cheryl. I'm with Caribou Country Lifestyle, and I have had these onions outside climatizing for a couple of weeks. I should have had these onions planted probably last week, but just got a lot of stuff going on and I'm getting to them now. So here in front of my row of tomatoes, I'm going to be planting some of my onion sets. These are onions that I started from seed. These ones here are the Walla Walla onions. And I'm just going to take these out and I'm going to loosen up the soil. And I'm just going to grab each little onion out and I'm going to plunk it in the ground. And grab another little one, and I'm just going to plant these about every 4 to 5 inches. They come out really good. They're not all in a big matted up knot. And I don't know how many I have. We'll see how many I get. I've got the Walla Walla onions, and then I also have some ruby red. I have my leeks, and I have the Elsa Craig onions. So I'm going to be planting all of these today, and most of them are just going to be going in front of other plants, in front of my tomatoes, just wherever I can find a spot. Whatever I can't get planted in here, once we get this bottom section finished, Jamie's got the T-posts in, and we just have to put the fencing in. We've got a roll of fence, just got to put that in. Once we get that in, then we can start planting the rest of the garden down below. And I figured, well, this up here in front of the tomatoes is a perfect spot for me to plant these onions and get them in the ground and get them growing. So I'll do a count after I've planted them all and let you know how many I ended up. So I planted all my onions. Looks like I've got pretty much all of them planted. I just was tucking them in to every little nook and cranny that I could find. I had so many that I just totally lost track of how many I was going to have. I'm going to have a lot. I'll just put it that way. I have a lot. So that's almost the last of my vegetables to plant. I still have all my cauliflower, cabbage, and broccoli that all needs to be planted. I also have my squashes need to be planted. I have a butternut squash and spaghetti squash that needs to be planted. I have all my cucumbers. I have pickling cucumbers and some slicer cucumbers that need to be planted. I have those out and I'm hardening them off outside right now. I just had to wait until they got a little bit bigger before I could put them outside to harden them off. So those are ready to be planted. I still have a lot of flowers. I planted all my sunflowers and all my zinnias in the garden yesterday. And I did plant my flowers in my circular bed, but there were some that didn't make it. So I'm just going to replace those with whatever didn't make it as well. And then I have they are the large seeded sunflowers. I think I'm going to plant those in front of the fence on the outside of the fence of the garden. I don't know if deer like sunflowers. I can't remember if they like sunflowers or not. So I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to plant those there because I figure once they get so tall, then I can tie them to the fence so that they don't, if it's windy out, then they're not going to blow over. And that was kind of my thought process for that too. So I just wanted to do a quick little video just telling you about my onions. Some of the onions, actually, I'll talk about that too. I did some multi-sowing onions for the Elsa Craig and the red onion and the Walla Walla and the leeks. So that's where I put 3 to 5 seeds in one spot. And when they sprouted, I actually planted them in that clump section, and that's the multi-sowing. So then when I notice that one of them's big enough to pick, I'll just pick the one out and then leave the other 2 or 3 still in there. So just trying that and seeing how that works too. All of these onions that I have planted, they are all from seed, but they're a large variety of onion. I have a kind of a sad little story to tell you about my pigs. We got these pigs in the middle of April, so we've had them for 2 months now, I guess. And looks like we had a complaint about the pigs, so we received a letter in the mail almost a month ago, not quite, about 3 weeks ago, received a letter in the mail from the CRD Regional District, and basically there was a complaint on the pigs. I don't know what the complaint was, and I'm not sure who filed the complaint, but in the letter it said we had 2 weeks, 14 days to move the pigs off this property. Which is funny because the previous owners raised pigs, goats, chickens, ducks, and there's quite a few properties around us that have pigs, chickens, goats, turkeys. And in the letter it also said that we are zoned in an R2, which means we can only have hens and bees, so which was very surprising to us. So I did a little research and found out some of the other properties. Yes, the ones that have pigs and goats on them, they're 3 to 4 acre properties. Our property is only 1 1/4 acres, and apparently that's not big enough to house pigs. This is our second year with pigs, so I was quite upset about the whole thing, because where the heck were we going, what were we going to do in 14 days? So I went to the regional district office and found out that I was in a bit of a panic, because I thought, you know, oh great, we're going to have to butcher these pigs way before when we were planning, because we weren't planning on butchering them until September. And we didn't know where we were going to put them, because now we're not sure who has the right amount of property that's going to be big enough to house pigs. And the fellow from the regional district said we would have to go to planning, which is another part of the regional district, and talk to them and let them know what some of our options were as far as where we were going to take these pigs. But again, we don't have a trailer. The pigs are too big for us to put them back into the back of Jamie's truck to load them somewhere else. So I talked to the fellow on the phone, and he said that the 14 days is a guideline. they are willing to give us up to a month to 6 weeks to figure out something. But we have to get back to them and let them know what we've decided. And we've decided we're not moving them anywhere else because it's not fair for somebody else to have to look after our pigs, and we'd have to figure out where or who has a property that's going to be big enough for our pigs. So what we've decided to do is we're just going to wait until the end of July, beginning of August, which is still a month, a little bit better than a month before we were planning on butchering the pigs. But I mean, there's not much we can do. So our pigs are being evicted, it looks like. And we're not going to be able to raise pigs anymore on this property. So that's sad. That's really too bad. They said hens and bees. Well, we have meat birds as well, so not sure. The meat birds aren't going to be around for much longer anyways. They've only got another 2 weeks, and then we'll be processing them as well. So yeah, it wasn't the best news. I was running around a little frantic when I first found out about it because I wasn't sure what we were going to do, but we've come up with a plan. I have to phone the regional district and let them know that this is our plan. We're going to just butcher them. The other thing is getting a hold of the butcher, and hopefully we'll be able to take them at the end of July, beginning of August, because last summer when it was really hot, he wasn't even running his coolers because it was too hot to run them. So we'll just have to kind of set up a date to have them butchered, and then if it ends up being too hot and then he can't do it, then we'll have to go from there. But other than that, yeah, it's too bad, but what can you do? I mean, you can't go against the district because then they will remove them and we'll end up with a big fine. So, and we don't want that either. But anyways, it is what it is. Another thing I've noticed, the other day I came out here and I was picking some stuff out of the garden. I was going to give it to my chickens, and I came out here near the chicken coop, and out runs a marmot, and it ends up running underneath my chicken coop. Then I find out, looking over here on the other side of the chicken coop, here they've dug a hole. I don't know if you can see it right there. They've dug a hole to have access on this side of the chicken coop. So a couple of different access into the this is underneath our chicken coop. I mean, this is the chicken coop, and then we have a couple of floors in between, and then that is, so they're starting to make a home underneath our chicken coop. And so what we've ended up doing is we borrowed a live trap from a friend of mine, and we're going to set up this live trap, and we're going to get rid of these marmots because I am not having a marmot on my property. One of our cats, the female, long-haired orange and white, Momo, she's gone missing. So I don't know if it's the marmot. I don't know what it is. It could be just about anything. So that's a little disturbing to know that something's gotten one of our cats. I mean, she is a outside shop cat, and the other cat, Buzz, the boy, he's walking with a limp, but it looks like it's his toenail. So one of his toenails is bothering him, and we've been treating it with some colloidal silver just to help speed up the healing on his toenail. So that should, hopefully that'll help him as well. So yeah, another thing going on over here. Thanks for joining me. I hope you like this video, and if you like this video, throw a like in there, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you the next time. Bye for now.